Is it worth it to buy the TheFatRat Game Pass inside of Bubblegum Simulator Infinity? Well, in this video, we are going to be going over everything about this particular Game Pass, including what it does inside of the game. Is it worth it compared to other Game Passes? What is the best way of using it? And so much more. So, in case you don't know what TheFatRat does, pretty much inside of Bubblegum Simulator Infinity, when you are playing the game, you can hatch an egg. And while hatching the egg, there is an animation that plays, and with this particular Game Pass, it will eliminate that animation, which pretty much speeds up the process of the hatching. Therefore, that is why it's called the fast hatch. Now, as you can see by me hatching this egg, this animation is really long, especially if you consider playing like a very long time and you consider AFKing overnight a lot. You will see that this animation will probably cut back on almost 50% of the pets you should be getting inside of the game. So for starters, with the TheFatRat Game Pass, you will be getting double as much inventory in loot as if you didn't have it. So this Game Pass does give you a lot of rewards. Now let's quickly buy this Game Pass and show you guys what it looks like after buying it to see if it's worth it or not, and for you to have a reference of what it would look like to have this particular Game Pass. Now, of course, let's hatch this particular egg for just 10 seconds to show you what it looks like, and then after we buy it, we'll show you how fast that Game Pass will make your hatching. And as you can see by this hatching, it is really slow in contrast to what we are about to do, which is get the Game Pass. And we'll show you how fast it actually is. And now that we have bought this Game Pass, let's show you what it does, how fast it is, if it's worth it compared to every other Game Pass, and if you should be getting it in the game. So as it is a 400 Robux Game Pass, it is really expensive in contrast to what it does. But as you can see by my grinding, it is really fast, so that's really good. Now, what are the benefits of actually having this Game Pass? Well, if you look at all the eggs that you open, you will see that you are going to get so much more pets in the same amount of time, as having double as much speed in hatching the egg does save you a lot of time for starters, and second of all, you will get a lot more pets. Now, as we know by probability, the more times you sample a particular test or hypotheses, the greater the results approach the number that is listed on that particular pet. So for every 1 million samples you do on a particular egg like this one, you may have 40% of the time being Martian kitties, while if you sample 10 billion times, it will approach 25%. So this Game Pass essentially will make it faster for you to have these statistics be more accurate, in the sense that your probability is approaching what it says on that particular pet. So you can look at this Game Pass as a Game Pass that will save you a lot of time if you're trying to get a high quantity of pets. And the second thing is, it will also speed up the process of you being able to get secret pets and more rare legendary pets in the game, especially if you have maximum luck on. This Game Pass will give you the opportunity to getting the best pets a lot faster, and by actually getting them because you're doing more and more samples inside of the game. Now, what do I mean by sample? Well, every time you hatch an egg, it will add to a sample, which is pretty much like a statistic research, and this sample will calculate approximately how many times you have hatched and how many times you actually get that rare pet. Obviously, as in this game, they do tell us our statistics on the pet. So let's say every player in the game hatches 100 trillion times. It should have about 0.2, or every 1,000 eggs should have one of that pet existing. So over the span of those trillion times, there should be about like 10 to 100 million of that particular pet, depending on how the statistic is on this pet inside of the game. Right, now you know the odds of getting pets and what it does. In contrast to the actual pet you want to get, let's compare it to every other Game Pass. So let's take a look at the very top. Obviously, as I've mentioned the infinity gum and digital storage in many of my other videos, we're gonna move past those two game passes and talk about the triple hatch, VIP, and every other game pass that is inside of the game. So as I've mentioned in the VIP video, this game pass does give such a little amount of rewards, making it not even worth it to buy it inside of the game, especially because of the low coins multiplier and the chest respawn rate, which I find ridiculous, as 25% faster does not seem like a lot and isn't a lot, especially because I don't believe this to be like every chest inside of the game. So this game pass is not worth it alone, let alone comparing it to the fast hatch. Now obviously, triple hatch is a game pass that allows you to hatch more pets while sitting on that egg. Now assume that you maxed out every mastery inside of the game, or the pet mastery alone, you should be able to hatch 3 eggs on this particular egg. Now with the triple hatch, that will allow you to hatch 5, which, as I mentioned earlier, the more sample size you do on an egg, the greater the outcomes will be in contrast to the percentages of each pet. So having multiple pets like this hatch at once, that means the sample is getting 5 added into that pot. So similar to how I mentioned the fast hatch gives you a greater sample size as it speeds up the process, what this game pass allows you to do is hatch more pets, which I believe is better in my opinion. But the triple hatch will allow you to hatch more pets, which will give you a higher outcome of the rarer pets inside of the game. So you could essentially have the worst luck ever inside of the game. Having the fast hatch will get you more and more pets of that low quantity, but having triple hatch will give you more pets overall in quantity. It's kind of hard to explain directly, but what it is this game pass will give you more pets, while this game pass will speed up the process of you getting the pets. So in theory, if you hatch for a very long period of time without the fast hatch, the triple hatch will actually give you probably less pets than fast hatch, just because of how fast this game pass actually speeds up your gameplay. So in contrast, I would say the fast hatch is potentially better than the triple hatch, but that's only assuming that you have maxed out the mastery, because otherwise it is not worth it to get fast hatch, and you should be getting triple hatch instead. So as I mentioned in many of my other videos, there's 2 pathways you could take with getting game passes, and that is going with the egg pathway, which is increasing your egg luck and your egg speeds. Or you could go the currency method, which is getting the currency game passes, which allows you to get more coins, bubblegum, and potentially diamonds inside of the game. So that's another pathway in which you can play with the game passes. And obviously, with double currency being a really good game pass, I'm currently not sure if they apply to every single world, as it does mention that doubles any world's currency earned, which I'm assuming it does. So this game pass is really good, and especially being the same price as the fast hatch, it is not that bad. But obviously, as we are hatching pets now and most players don't necessarily need a lot of currency, fast hatch is still technically better. Now, unfortunately, I've not purchased extra equips, but I have used another comparison, which is obviously going to be the mastery, in which I mentioned about how the extra equips does allow you to pick up more items whenever you pick them up on the floor, and does give you a greater bubblegum multiplier. But in contrast to actually hatching in the game, the extra equips does not give you more luck, as having more pets equipped doesn't give you more luck or speed up the process of your hatching. So extra equips, in contrast to fast hatch, is not worth it, especially even though it's low in price. I would still say fast hatch is better. Now, the double luck is an interesting one, as without having the triple hatch, the double luck is still technically pretty good inside of the game. It does give you a lot of an increase in the egg, obviously, as that is what the Game Pass is set to do. But the only thing with this particular Game Pass is this Game Pass actually allows you to get more legendaries and secret pets, and having those rarity pets being a higher chance of getting is a lot better than having the triple hatch in some sense, especially if you maxed out your mastery. double luck is probably going to still be better than fast hatch. But that's only on if you have a certain amount of upgrades in the game already. Let's say you have nothing in the game currently and you are a brand new player. Well, you should be getting the triple hatch first because more quantity will give you a greater outcome of the amount of pets you hatch. Then you should get fast hatch, then at the end you should get the double luck, especially if you are brand new to the game. So now that I've compared every game pass to the fast hatch, is it worth it to buy this particular game pass? Well, before I get to that, I do want to mention that all these game passes that you see on the screen that have the word owned on them will have already had a video made on them, and you can check out those videos using the link in the description in which I go over every game pass in the game. And using that knowledge, you can determine if it's worth it for you to buy or not, depending on what you actually get, how you actually play in the game, and so much more. As we have gone over every aspect of this fast hatch game pass, assuming I haven't missed any important ones, is it worth it to buy the fast hatch? Well, pretty much it is worth it to buy it, even for how much it costs. You have to consider that having an increase in speed in hatching does increase your likelihood of rare pets pretty significantly. Even without luck boosters on, having a fast hatch is still really good. Now, unfortunately, as in this game, it is really expensive for you to hatch the best egg. The egg that I would recommend you guys hatch currently, especially if you just bought this fast hatch, is going to be the egg that is in the main world. And before I go over there, I'm going to collect this chest, as obviously for those who bought the VIP, knowing it's not worth it, make sure you grab the chest as much as possible and make the most use of it, because technically you already paid a lot for it and you want to make sure you use the most of it. But as I mentioned, make sure you go over to this particular egg right here and hatch this egg, as the rewards in this egg aren't always going to be the best. But in contrast to how expensive the best egg is, this egg will allow you to get a lot of discounted items, so that's pretty good. And as you can see right there, we got our first legendary, which is really nice. But essentially, to wrap it all up, the fast hatch is worth it in its senses. Obviously, as I mentioned, there is a lot of components that go into it and a lot of components that may not make it worth it. But in my overall perspective of it, comparing it to everything else, I think you should still get it if you are going to play this game a lot. But anyways, to wrap it all up, if you have not already, make sure you click that subscribe button to help me out. Drop a like on this video so more people can find out about this Game Pass. But other than that, I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.